We live. Welcome to Damu Kiwe Conversations. First, apologies. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for the support, everybody who waited for 4 hours yesterday, waiting for the live. Hit that like button on your way in. Get us in this algorithm. We got a show for y'all, man. Exclusive interview with Benzino. He ain't here yet. But we also gonna be talking about Marcellus. We also gonna be talking about Marcellus. Hold on, let me send this link because now people act like they ain't got the link or they gotta have the link on their phone. Okay, my bad. I hope that everybody's happy after this. Shaggy Egg in the building. Salute, man. Salute. Hit that like button, man. Let's get some people up in here. I know y'all been waiting. We want to bring y'all great content, speaking on entertainment, social issues, and just how we gonna continue to heal. You know, a lot of us never had the healing process, the opportunity to heal, because we caught up in everyday survival. You know what I'm saying? Not life, because a lot of us ain't living. So we gonna get into this about the brother Marcellus Williams, who was executed in Missouri. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Uh-oh, we got a special guest. Who is this? Oh, man, that's...
Damu Kiwe Conversations. That's
Hey,
man,
look,
is yours truly, man. The girl's drooling.
I believe you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer that you be having the girls drooling, and they be having you drooling too. So it's a favor for a favor. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all.
Never.
Salute to all the people on Clubhouse, the loyal supporters already on there. Shout out my boy Tony Anderson, JG, Smokey. Shout out to my brother Bomani. What's up? My boy Baby Dig. Makita, she already in here immaculately. I'ma call y'all back. Henny Gang is in the building. Shout out to the whole team. Straight No Chase Media, the homie G-Mac. We got Lady Fino, Yael. Uh-oh. Henny Gang is in the building. That girl Henny is in the building. Thank you for popping up. I thought you'd be asleep. I told you to get your sleep, so don't blame me later because you never get sleep. All you do is work. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, active in the chat. We want active Chuck Taylors in the chat and Henny Glasses, my nigga. We gonna have a gangster conversation. Nah, for real, we gonna have a man conversation, man. We want to get into some things today. Waiting on Benzino, King Tyson, salute. Ed Odom, salute. Young Ron, aka Baby Dig, this Baby Dig I'm on, bro. All right, salute, bro. Music Media, he is certified rap. Do you got some paperwork, Music Media 626? Because over here on our side, we don't use that term lightly. We need to work, my nigga. So if you got to work, you can send the work. But we got to validate it. See, whenever we come public with something, you got to authenticate and validate it because your name is on the line. That's what CS2 Bag didn't ever do. You know what I'm saying? But y'all say, I put out the bad work. How I put the work out, I never brought it to the net. Let's get it, 004. Let's see what he going to say. Should be entertaining. Music Media 626. Where's the paperwork? Exactly. Welcome to Damu Kiwe Conversation. Please like and share. RDL, salute. Deuce M. Y'all in the chat. Y'all hit that MF like button. That's what RDL do. He regulates with the Blue Wrench Mob. Megan Davis, salute. The Smokey Show, salute. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to call y'all back. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, man. Papa Dirt, what up? I see you. Oh, he macking in the chat. Man, hey, y'all, maybe that's why y'all be forgetting to hit the like button on y'all way in. Y'all be having some love connections going on in the chat. We talking about economic independence shit. We could be talking about World War III started and they bombing right now. And y'all gonna be in the chat and macaroni and you know what I'm saying? Players from the Himalayas. Damu Kiwe Conversation. TRU, do Sim, salute, bro. Salute, salute. T Jackson, ain't seen you. I see them chucks. Hey guys, salute. You know what I'm saying? Deborah Edgerson, Makita, Exotic Soul. Hey Megan, hey Grip, Panda Man, salute. Sagittarius Jones, G-Mac, 2-in-1. Shout out to Damu and Kiwe Conversations, the realest Bloods and Crips. Yeah, man, that's kind of like the story of our life right now. You know, all the YouTubers is on a protest to us. You know what I'm saying? You know, if they say, you got the juice now, you know what I'm saying? You gotta wear whatever body you got. So that body, we got it. Difference is, we gonna flame niggas that need to be flamed, but that's not even our intentions, man. We want to use this spotlight to talk about positive things and trying to heal, man. Because as I said, man, a lot of us never had the opportunity to heal. So through the traumatic, just growing up in the inner cities, you know what I'm saying? And that brings us to this dude, right? Marcellus Williams. Yael, are you familiar with the story of what happened with the brother, man?
I'm not. I just heard that he was an innocent brother and that he was executed on the grounds of whatever the state had decided.
Yeah, Missouri State. Man, Missouri State is one of the states that really had slavery, legalization of slavery back on the ballot. So when y'all say it don't matter, laws change, just like Roe v. Wade, right? I told Benzino when he was on Clubhouse, you can't trust Three Finger Whack. Yeah, we're not even gonna talk to him about Wackoon 100. You know what I'm saying? Wackoon 100 is not content. You know what I'm saying? We made him content. He don't control the narrative, and he don't even have a say in our community, man, in our culture. He said he ain't even doing music no more. So he has no relevance. If he was still doing music.
You said doing music? You're not doing music or content?
Music. That's what CS2 Back said, bro. So he has no relevance in our culture. That was his way in. You know what I'm saying? So let me get into this content. Sherm Hefner, salute. Let's get into this content. Hit that like button on y'all way in, man. It's this is nasty work, man. We waiting on Benzino. While we waiting on him, let's get into this content. Oh, that's the short. No, we ain't getting into that one. Let's get into this one. Boom. Think this is it. Yeah. Welcome to Damu Conversation. Show y'all so y'all could all be familiar with what's going on, man. Kind of update y'all who been sleeping up under a rock. You know what I'm saying? Who don't catch the news. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Efforts to prevent it. Death row inmate Marcellus Williams has been executed. Williams was convicted in the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale, a former Post-Dispatch reporter and social worker. But he has always maintained his innocence in this case. However, there have been many questions in this case, including a lack of DNA evidence, witness testimony, and racial bias. And it's all led to multiple attempts to vacate that death sentence to no avail, with the governor refusing to grant clemency. Now, even with Gale's own family calling for clemency for Williams, Fox 2's Jeff Bernthal was in Bonne Terre tonight, where Williams was executed.
One witness to the execution said it did not appear that Williams showed any signs of struggling. The lethal injection administered at 1 minute after 6, Williams declared dead 9 minutes later.
Marcellus Williams was executed for the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale.
The acting director of corrections reading a statement from Missouri Governor Mike Parson approximately 25 minutes after Marcellus Williams was declared dead.
We hope this gives finality to a case that has languished for decades, re-victimizing Miss Gale's family over and over again.
Earlier in the day, a memorial in University City for Felicia Gale appeared to have fresh flowers. Gale was a social worker and worked as a reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Investigators said she was stabbed more than 40 times by Williams because Gale interrupted him in her own home as Williams was committing a burglary. Multiple efforts to spare Williams' life unfolded after questions about his conviction surfaced. Appeals to multiple courts and a plea to Missouri's governor for clemency were denied.
No juror nor judge has ever found Williams' innocence claim to be credible. 2 decades of judicial proceedings and more than 15 judicial hearings upheld his guilty conviction.
Williams wrote this final statement: "All praise be to Allah in every situation." Corrections officials said his son was among those witnessing the execution. No one from the victim's family attended. We've reported Gail's family has expressed opposition to the death penalty. And the victim's family did not release a statement following Tuesday's execution. Reporting from Bonne Terre, Jeff Bernthal, Fox 2 News.
St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell released a statement tonight condemning the execution, saying if there is even the shadow of a doubt of innocence, the death penalty should never be an option. This outcome did not serve the interest of justice. Well, all across the state, including in downtown St. Louis, supporters of Marcellus Williams and those against the death penalty gathered, hoping for a last-minute chance to halt the execution. Fox 2's Caroline Petty has been downtown all day long and was with those supporters when Williams was executed tonight. Caroline?
Mandy, over 1.5 million people believed Marcellus Williams was innocent, but the Missouri court system could not be convinced. After 24 years of fighting for his innocence, Marcellus Williams, as we know, was executed tonight by lethal injection.
A large crowd gathered in St. Louis this afternoon to show their solidarity outside of Carnahan Court Building, one of 5 groups around the state that participated in peaceful execution watches for this case that sparked international debate.
I don't want to live in a society where killing seems to be the response to when people do bad things.
The U.S. Supreme Court rejected a final appeal filed late Monday night, despite objections from 3 justices, making this Governor Parsons' 11th execution during his term, as he and the courts denied to intervene, stating, "Nothing from the real facts of this case have led me to believe in Mr. Williams' innocence."
I went to an evidentiary hearing, and it seemed for like a split moment there would be some type of joy and hope, but it was not the case.
Advocates held out for hope up until 6 p.m. when the sound of downtown church bells chiming broke the silence.
At Spectrum,
So yeah, man, that's a summary of some of the facts that was going on with this case. Let's get to this real quick. This is his son. You know what I'm saying? I mean his auntie, his sister, which is his son's auntie. Let's get into this real quick, man. Shout out to Elizabeth, New Jersey. Shout out to Harlem, New York, and Hawthorne. Salute, 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 man. This is sad. Yael, before we get into this, you want to speak on that, bro? Because that shit is kind of like just hearing, you know what I'm saying?
Man, it's always a travesty and a tragedy to have an innocent man die, whether he's dead or locked up. Going through that and having people in my family and around my family that's been through that, it's a horrendous situation, man. And I'm saddened for that man's family. Rest in peace to that brother. They took a man away from his kids, his family, and justice needs to be served. I don't give a fuck how it's served. It could be, I don't care. It just needs to be served, man. And again, it's only so many words can express. You can only say so much in a situation like this. And again, Deuce, and to the family, I feel bad for them. Condolences to them. And I wish something can happen in justice for him. I wish something can happen in justice for that brother.
I think justice is elusive, first and foremost, when the judicial system in itself has been biased since it began in this nation. You know what I'm saying? This justice system as we know it. You got to remember Jim Crow was legal, right? Slavery was legal.
Facts,
You know
facts.
So when you got a system that's already corrupted and embedded with white supremacy, this is I'm surprised this ain't even more normal. that the statistics ain't even though the statistics of melanated people that are being assassinated are disproportionate for the population. I think we're like 8% of this. I think we're like 8% of this country's population. You know what I'm saying? That's a sad thing. But and I'm an advocate. I believe that that some crimes do deserve the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? I think about the little mountaineer boy that walked up in the church and unalived all of those melanated people. Like that he walked right past the police, and they ended up getting him, and he got a chopstick. To the dude that unalived the blacks, the melanated elder sister, could have been somebody's auntie or grandmother in Buffalo. Like, these is instances where the death penalty definitely should be applied. But then it comes to the question, well, how do you embed the government? I mean, embed the government with that power when they already demonstrated that the judicial system has attacked us since its inception. We hear the slave catchers, the police that we know today all started from the slave catchers, which was all citizens of this country and subjects to this country had an obligation to serve as slave catchers, and even if they were against slavery, or they'll get a fine or locked up, whatever the penalty may be. You know what I'm saying? That's how law enforcement started. You get overzealous prosecutions regularly. I've been in that type of situation. Then you get dirty cops that plant work on people, plant drugs on people. So it incentivizes that type of behavior from law enforcement when they're able to get away with doing that type of stuff, right? Unaliving. Y'all remember the Rampart scandal in LA? Y'all already smoked CS2 back. It's nice to see we getting back to the reason that I started paying attention to Deuce M back when they used to wear the jerseys on Clubhouse, the betterment of us. Hey, salute, Kingdom. I'm glad that you're very observative, because that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's about us. It ain't about them. We will be running Ray J RICO paperwork with CS2 back. We got to conclude and the new as we're very invested into that already. But other than that, he's of no relevance to our community. So we'll dust him off with that. He already been dusted off. But back to what we were saying, I want y'all to hear Marcellus Williams' sister. The sister is deep. Man, let me tell y'all sister something, man. And I had to talk all my life with different men. Melanated sisters, queens, Mother Earth is within y'all. You know what I'm saying? That element. Y'all in tune with it, with your intuitions, your sense. But y'all got the tongue when y'all come up and grow up that can slice and break a man's spirit. You know what I'm saying? That makes somebody feel this small. And this sister finna show you exactly that talent. And I'm glad she utilized that tool and spoke so eloquently. So let's get into this. This is Marcellus Williams' sister. And let's go into this. How can we push play? All right, boom.
With the black community. Why she didn't do.
Good morning. I am actually speaking to you from the state of Missouri, the state that murdered my brother, Marcellus Williams. And here's the first thing I'm going to address. I am a little tired of seeing black TikTokers get online and spreading misinformation. You are doing the work of the white supremacists. That's what you're doing. And it is amazing that most of the people who are getting up with misinformation also seem to have Trump 2020, 2024 in their hashtags. Let me tell you something. First of all, if you have Trump 2024 in your hashtags, please do not lecture us about Black Lives Matter, because like my governor who helped murder Marcellus Williams, he did pretty much like Trump signed the death certificate of, I don't know if you remember, 5 young black men called the Central Park 5, even after they were found innocent.
About this. if Kamala really fucked with the black community, why she didn't do?
Good
One
morning.
more time.
I am
Y'all need to
actually
hear that
speaking to you
again.
from the state of Missouri, the state that murdered my brother Marcellus Williams. And here's the first thing I'm going to address. I am a little tired of seeing black TikTokers get online and spreading misinformation. You are doing the work of the white supremacists. That's what you're doing. And it is amazing that most of the people who are getting up with misinformation also seem to have Trump 2020, 2024 in their hashtags. Let me tell you something. First of all, if you have Trump 2024 in your hashtags, please do not lecture us about Black Lives Matter. Because like my governor who helped murder Marcellus Williams, he did pretty much like Trump signed the death certificate of, I don't know if you remember, 5 young black men called the Central Park 5, even after they were found innocent.
Very, very strong words from a woman who obviously is hurt. She lost her brother. You know what I'm saying? And she really is looking at them passing this disinformation. And she pointed out a fact. And I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Kamala Harris, neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? To me, the Republicans and Democratic parties are two heads of the same beast. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy, corporate America, United States of America Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? So the entire population here is subjects to that government or under jurisdiction of them, and they utilize the equity that lies within your lifespan, averaged out, right? And mine and the property you own. That's why you have to register it. They utilize that for business. And then they tax you, create multiple meaningless holidays. You can have Dog Day holiday, whatever. It doesn't matter. The states and the federal government give you all of these holidays to keep you as slaves and consumers. Because the more money you spend, the more tax monies they get. You know what I'm saying? And America's consumption, overconsumption of everything. You know what I'm saying? Why you think our health is so messed up? But these same people who were trying to get the death penalty for the Central Park 5, Donald Trump, put up billboards, all kind of stuff, campaigning for this, without even deciding whether or not they were guilty or not. These were kids, beaten, coerced into confessions, scared. Why are the police even talking to and discussing anything, let alone a crime, with your children without you being there? Why is the NYPD physically abusing children? Our community is supposed to be outraged. But yet and still, this same person that these people are so hard advocating behind him and making it about him, when you have his family, I mean, they just don't even care about the mourning process of those this dude's family. And we haven't even gotten to the facts of the case, but we'll get into them. Benzino ain't here, but that's cool because we can still run this until he come. And if he don't come up, hopefully everything was good, because I don't think the Damu Kiwe conversation gonna take too kindly to that. Let me get into another video, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get into another video, man. This is his son. You know what I'm saying? When people mourning,
conversation.
When people are mourning, man, we always say, man, peace and blessings, condolences to you and your family. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes passing disinformation. Let's get into it.
And a strong spirit at that. So he went gracefully, he went peacefully, no begging, no pleading, no crying. You know what I'm saying? His time of death was 6:10 p.m. He looked good. He jumped a little bit, but besides that, he didn't seem in any pain. His message was to not uproar, y'all. I don't want nobody rioting, looting, stealing nothing, killing nobody, fighting the police. None of that. We don't need that right now. You know what I'm saying? We don't rectify the situation another way. They got us on this one, and that's okay, because my father was the best who would have sacrificed for change. So your brother, your father, your uncle, your cousin, or maybe you. Number one thing.
Let's hear that again.
You know, my father was a very intelligent man, very beautiful man. He had a connected spirit. Anybody who know about that, I know what I'm talking about. He had a very well-connected spirit and a strong spirit at that. So he went gracefully, he went peacefully, no begging, no pleading, no crying. You know what I'm saying? His time of death was 6:10 p.m. He looked good. He jumped a little bit, but besides that, he didn't seem in any pain. His message was to not uproar, y'all. I don't want nobody rioting, looting, stealing nothing, killing nobody, fighting the police. None of that. We don't need that right now. You know what I'm saying? We don't rectify the situation another way. They got us on this one, and that's okay, because my father was the best who would have sacrificed for change. So your brother, your father, your uncle, your cousin, or maybe you.
So that was his son. I'll let Yael build on that first, man.
Like I said, condolences to that brother. I know everybody deals with death and injustice differently. I do. I totally understand, right? But what I'm not going to agree with, and he can, he's 100% fine in how he stands on his disposition with the system and what he feel was an unrighteous decision. If his family don't want to riot and don't want to loot and don't want to, challenge the police, that's great. But this is my issue with the situation with that. Every time one of ours is murdered, because the man wasn't just killed. He wasn't killed. Killing and murder is two different things. That man was murdered. He was an innocent man at that, and he was murdered. So when murder happens to our people, to the melanated brothers and sisters, and your counter argument is, don't do nothing to the oppressors, don't do nothing to the system, because the system is fucked up already. So you going out there trying to stand for what's right, that ain't gonna work. So if you don't want people to do that, then what needs to be done? We've marched, we've begged, we've voted, we've did everything in our natural understanding to do, civilized understanding to do. Been doing it since Martin Luther King's dream. That was his dream, to hold hands and be peaceful and walk together with the oppressor. That ain't my fucking dream.
And they unalived him.
And they murdered him. So the fact that this brother, his son, speaks on that note for that's fine, brother. But if I'm taken unjustly, you better do something to the motherfuckers who took me unjustly. Because guess what? Even in biblical text, the unrighteous shall not be treated, and the unrighteous shall not go unrighteously. That means if you go out here and murder an innocent man, you need the same motherfucking treatment. Fuck the system. Oh, we're going to throw the cop in jail for 45 years until fuck that. That's the problem. We've been that was our weakness into infiltration. We too fucking nice. We want to kumbaya with every motherfucking body, but everybody don't want to kumbaya with us. When is niggas going to wake up and understand walking peacefully and holding fucking hands with the justice system? That ain't been working for you. It ain't worked for no nigga. For no nigga. So for niggas to sit here and listen and be like, oh yeah, man, that brother, guess what? Like I said, you right to protest how you been protesting. But you'll be called crazy to keep doing something that hasn't worked yet. It's not gonna work, man. I'ma be the one to say it on the platform today. Kumbaya with these motherfuckers, asking to hold hands and forgiving them and turning the other cheek is not gonna work, bro. Sis. Melanated children, melanated fathers, brothers, sisters, mothers, aunties, grandpas, the church, the synagogue. It ain't been working. So what the fuck are we going to do now? But they say niggas moving silent, right? You don't got to say what you going to do. And I'm not promoting for no man to do anything. Do what's in your heart. But look at what's been going on. That shit, that fucking walking up to fucking Capitol Hill, asking for a bill
and you still get killed? Come on, my nigga. This shit ain't real. Damu fucking Kiwe conversations, bro.
Hey,
this is the shit.
Everybody that's on stage on Clubhouse, please change your PTR like mine in support of the brother. We gonna keep his memory alive. Yael, I totally agree with you. They say that insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? People believe that we really won during the Civil Rights Act. You know what I'm saying? When they freed slavery, applied the 13th Amendment, and everybody's free except under the 13th Amendment, those convicted of a felony. Well, they knew that they was going to have the slave catchers and them target our community specifically with loitering, you know what I'm saying, Jim Crow laws, all of these different small petty crimes to keep us as the workforce for the South, who was already dependent upon that workforce. It was another way to keep us enslaved. That turned into the prison industrial complex, right? $1 billion industry that a lot of the companies that we utilize in our everyday life, a lot of the corporations that we purchase their goods from are highly invested into it, right? PIA, Netflix, et cetera, et cetera. But I learned through my experience in studying resistance, right, across the world. But let's talk about just in the Americas. Shout out to Hezbollah in Lebanon. They call them terrorists, but they protect their people. They take care of their people. And I'm quite sure that Christian people in Lebanon have called United States the terrorists, have called Israel the terrorists. In the 2000, I think it was 3 or 5, Hezbollah versus Israel war. Hezbollah overstood that and won. See, they organized, they're unified. A Muslim front, primarily Shiite Muslim. They have their military wing. When these type of things happen, any acts of aggression or oppression, they stand up for it. What happened to the Damus and Kiwes? Ain't that what y'all supposed to do? Shout out to Chi-Town, the Moes, the folks, the peoples, the Latin kings. We lost our way. We forgot who our enemy was. We so caught up in fighting each other, right? They have their financial and political wing. They have representation in I think it's not called Congress over there, but what is essentially Congress over here in the United States. They have Hezbollah political wing has representation on there for their interests. Lebanon isn't an all-Muslim country, right? But they make up 1/3 of the House of Representatives or Congress over there in Lebanon. And then they have their propaganda wing and their financial wing, right? Which does for and in the community and keep the message alive. The Black Panther Party was the political party that was supposed to represent us. And before they would allow us to have representation where it counts, in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, they have to make sure everybody was submissive to the establishment. And the establishment is Democrats and Republicans. Black Panther Party. That was our political wing. BLA, the Black Liberation Army, that was our military wing. They gone. And all of these other organizations, some in Chicago were already started. Shout out to the Moes, to the Blackstone Rangers. But everybody else have already been conditioned, even to, it sounds like this brother's son, that peace is going to achieve something different. Insanity. Right? They're doing the same thing. It's good. It's cool. No, this ain't never cool. And I understand you, Morning, and you deal with things the way you deal with it. But this ain't cool. What's worth fighting for is worth dying for. And what's worth dying for is worth killing for. If you're not going to be prepared to do that, and I slap you today, What's going to stop me from slapping you tomorrow? Answer that while you speaking on what should happen and what shouldn't happen. And this is to his son. And condolences to you and your family. I know you well-intentioned. I don't believe that you're riding for white supremacy intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Every resistance that ever happened from Hezbollah in Lebanon all the way to South America, Costa Rica, Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Gaspar Yanga and the Maroons and indigenous natives to what's called Mexico today defeated the Spaniards. You think they did that by being peaceful and subservient? Is that what you believe? They attacked their infrastructure and economics. They runaway slave. Rest in peace to Gaspar Yanga, one of the greatest leaders in this hemisphere. When they had supplies coming from sugar cane plantations, they raided them. They hit them where it hurt in their pocket. They fought sometimes with shovels and tools, outnumbered, but prepared to sacrifice themselves. A lot of people that don't do that is because they already complacent and they've already accepted this treatment. So if you cool, you like it, I love it. But for those that don't want to accept that as a reality, especially for your kids, what's going to stop them from doing wrongfully convicting his son? What? The judicial system is the same. I've been convicted of crimes I didn't commit. And you know what was crazy? I'm from the streets. I took it on the chin because, shit, I think about all the shit I got away with. This ain't nothing. This is just karma. Oh, let God handle it. Let God handle it. What do you say? Faith alone can't just move mountains. It takes actions. What are we going to do in our communities nationwide to change this from continuously happening? They slap me, I turn the other cheek. Oh, it's okay. They going to slap me again. I'm going to turn the other cheek. I might say, well, look, I believe in their laws and their judicial system. I'm going to file a complaint on internal affairs. I'm going to protest against the governor. How you going to win when they write the rules? When they write the laws where most of us don't even participate in voting? Y'all talk about the presidency and negate the fact that city councilmen, the Senate, the House of Representatives in your state is who you really need to focus on. But yeah, I'm with you, y'all. Salute to the brother. I understand his feelings.
Man.
But respectfully, I beg to differ on the direction we move forward.
Deuce, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
So, like how you just said right now, if a nigga slap you, right, and you like, oh shit, here go the other side of my face, slap me again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you said, what stops them or him from doing it again? And it's the same thing as when the judicial system says, okay, I'm going to kill a Nigger today, right?
Right.
Oh, the family says, get on the news. We it's okay. The racist piece of shit that did it, the piece of shit that killed your son or your daughter or your uncle, grandfather, grandma, whoever it may be, gets up there and says, I was doing my job. I was in fear for my life. And you turn around and say, I forgive you. Then they say, okay, that melanated family forgave him. And then they go out and do it again. You got police officers that do the same thing over. They just go to another country, another county, and become an officer, and then they do it again. And then that family gets up there and says, here, take this cheek. You already hit that family on the cheek. All right, those tears came down that cheek. Okay, now it's my turn. Give me some tears. You getting the same slap. No buster in the hood. The busters in the hood do the, oh yeah, you could mark me out, and then until they get a bag, and then they start using the real niggas to protect them. They have their laws to protect them. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that our people are so fucking smart, but yet so goddamn stupid, they can't see the forest because the trees are in the way. Nigga, do you know the trees are the forest? Do you know the laws are made for them to bend? And for you, dumbass nigga, to, oh, it's okay, boss. Kill my whole lineage. I still forgive you. Thank you, Jesus. You goofy ass niggas. It's how you fucking look. This is how you look. Respectfully, I'm not sorry for saying it. I'm sorry that I gotta say it, and you niggas is still gonna try to find a loophole, like the law, like the 13th Amendment. You niggas are still looking for loopholes to get on your knees and forgive the fuck niggas that keep taking us away. You don't have an answer, but don't do nothing. But let's march. But the laws, let's vote. Nigga, do you understand? Understand this, nigga. They don't need your vote on paper. They just need you to say yes. They need your voice and your image. Do you not voice when they kill your people, I'm sorry, and they say all is forgiven? All you need to do is say, yeah, we want Trump. Yeah, we want Kamala. They gonna calculate that shit. Fuck the paper. It doesn't matter. It only matters for them. It don't matter for you. It does not matter. Niggas, wake up. It don't matter for you. You can try to, you want to debate? Let's debate. Fuck it. Debate it. We can debate it all day. The reality and the truth of it is, Deuce Sims, it's not never gonna fucking help us. And these dumbass niggas, I hate to say it like this, these religious movements that run down there and hold hands and kumbaya fucking
a lot
all.
of them been sold us out.
Niggas is the Al Sharptons, the Reggie Jacksons, sad to say, the Martin Luther King dream syndrome. It ain't fucking helped us then, and it ain't gonna fucking help us now. When you clown ass niggas come from the delusion and get out of the matrix of the system and start really seeing it for what it is, then it's gonna be changed. It's not gonna be changed because you goofy niggas want to keep finding a loophole. My people who got degrees and graduated from high school and who have critical thinking understanding, look up what a loophole is, and then look at the people that are in the graves that are dead behind police.
One second, y'all. Hey, on Clubhouse, if you don't got the PTR we got on in support of the brother, you can listen from the goo, but don't roof him out the room. Y'all roof my boy Joe Carter. He been supporting from the beginning. They can stay in. They just won't be able to stay on the stage. Go ahead, y'all. Apologies, King.
Nah, brother, it's all blessings. Again, the paper doesn't matter for us. The voting doesn't matter for us. The walking doesn't matter for us. Linking up arms and going to go stand in front of Congress doesn't matter for us. We've did it. When I say we, ancestors, Rosa Parks, everybody, anybody who didn't play the part in that segregation and colorism and just racial tension and racial treatment, they did it respectfully. They tried respectfully, and it didn't work for them. It did not work for us. We are the offspring. It ain't work for us. It didn't work. The Black Panthers started a movement. Guess what happened? A fuck nigga infiltrated and they killed the real nigga. And guess what? They took over the identity of it to get men out the home, melanated brothers out the home. It's not working for us, melanated people. And you niggas is gonna keep trying to find a loophole. A loophole is something to justify the wrongdoing, to make it right in your eyes so you can say all is forgiven. And it's not forgiven. Even the creator who created all don't forgive the injustice until they are punished. So if you niggas want to sit here and say, oh man, it's okay, we're going to walk anyway. Well, you walk that fucking way. I ain't walking with you, nigga. I ain't walking with you.
Shout out to Diamond Blue. He said Al Sharpton Ben admitted he worked for the feds. Yeah, he wore a wire on Don King also. He been worked for the feds, compromised. What is he talking about? The same old marching BS that they was doing back then that got us in the same situation half a century later. P. Jones, Ben Crump is the worst. Jesse Jackson sold us out too. Yeah, Jesse Jackson sold the name Rainbow Coalition to the LGBTQ and I don't know what other alphabets they got in there, but they ended up getting that, and they supported them financially and took that from them. But nah, y'all, you 100% right, bro. We gonna get into this, but before we do, I want to continue to build off of what you said. Yeah, those who don't know, I lead the charge to end qualified immunity, hold police accountable when they unalive melanated people within our community. You know what I'm saying? The leadership we had, they did the best that they could do at with what the cards that they was dealt, but they fell short. And so it's admirable. They martyrs. It's Martin Luther King. I disagree with him. He seen the Gandhi approach and the success that the Gandhi approach had over there. But he underestimated the demons and the devils that we was dealing with. These is the same people who made it legal. I'm talking about Barclays, and we could go through the whole list of companies that invested in slavery. I'm talking about the transatlantic slave, what you call it, and the indigenous people who were already here, aboriginals, right? Melanated people that were enslaved. They made it to where a slave that died because of insurance, Wells Fargo, but they were named after another company back then. The name changed over time. These people they insured the slaves. So where you might only be able to get $100, which was probably about $50,000 at the time. Who knows the qualifications of inflation over that time, where you'll be able to get the equivalent of $50,000 or $100,000 because of the insurance policy. So I'm going to run this motherfucker through the dirt like he was cattle. I want this motherfucker to die. I'm going to beat the dog shit out of him nearly to the brink of death. I'm going to treat and slut out any woman. Hold on one second. I'm live right now. Let me call you right back.
Damu Kiwe Conversations.
Hey, I'm live right now. Let me call you back. All right. Hey, Big U don't fuck with me. Just so y'all know, so we don't give a fuck about no Big U. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Charles, man.
Hey, man.
And Yael's in the hospital. He just got out of critical condition.
Hey, listen, man. I got on. Listen, I got two leg braces up to my thigh. I got two arm. My phone is propped up on the bed.
Nah, fuck that. We ain't even gonna play into the football BS.
Nah, you are. Hey, do shit. You already started, Damu. Fuck it. I'm taking it there. Nah, but some real shit. Keep going, dude.
So these corporations profited and exploited our labor without compensation for years and years and years. Then they stacked up all of this money. Imagine playing Monopoly, me and you, Yael, right? I'm just talking about the economic disadvantages that they took advantage of.
Correct.
So we take the land off the top. We CEOs. Nigga, I'm the CEO. I got hire some workers, probably slaves, if not slaves, indentured servants, or my family work the land and we live off the land, right? So
right.
we already starting from a CEO position off the top, right? So I own the land, we got corn or whatever crops we got on our land, but we able to wholesale this from the get-go to the people that need corn, and now we got an X amount of dollars coming because we didn't took this, right? And probably more than likely, if we were smart, utilize cheap labor, or if we were cold-blooded, had slave labor. Boom. So we CEOs, I go around the monopoly board. You can't buy no property, Yael. Remember, we started together at the same level, right? But I took this land, and I'm already benefiting and able to take care and provide for me and my family. You're going to work in my fields, whether indentured servitude or enslavement, chattel slavery, right? We're not going to talk about me throwing your babies heads up against the walls. We're not going to talk about me creeping into the hen houses and late at night while you laid up with your woman and you hear your woman moaning and crying because she knows how much this is hurting you psychologically. We're not going to even talk about it. We're just going to talk about the economics, right? So you go past go, you can't even get your $200. You can't even buy no property because you are a property. And I go around for 200, 300 times, right? Collecting gold, buying up all the property, getting businesses going, utility works, the water works. We got everything sold up. And now I let you start to collect $200 every time you pass go. Now you can buy property where you can find property, which is pretty much slim to none the opportunities you get it, right? Then I tell you, you know what, Yael? Stop complaining about how many times I got to go around Boardwalk and stack up and get this head start. You know what I'm saying? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work hard and stop complaining, boy. This is the American dream. And you might get a Jay-Z that comes up out of that situation, or Diddy who will sell his soul, right? Understanding the wrongs that he's doing.
Can you hear me, Deuce?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just want to make sure my phone was okay. Make sure.
Or you get a Diddy or Oprah, right? I don't know if Oprah sold herself, but I'm sure Diddy did. Diddy knew damn well what he got in bed with, both figuratively and literally. You know what I'm saying? But for the riches for himself, he went along with it, played their game, and now it appears that he might be getting burnt up for what he did, what he got away with, and things that he didn't do.
Man.
And that's just me looking at from the beginning. So economically, we already at a disadvantage point. This American dream that's so great. All these Trump 2024 or Kamala Harris 2024. And Kamala is not, she is not what we is. And what is black? While we talking about, oh, she ain't black. Black is mentally dead. That's a color.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Color and race was a social construct.
Come on now.
We are melanated, angelic, supreme beings.
Speak on it.
That's what we are. And then when you get to the opposite end of that spectrum, you have albinos, which overmating over years and years and years get what you call the Caucasian race, right? But race, we're all still from the same thing. They're different. Like you got pit bulls and then you got mutts. You understand what I'm saying?
Come on now.
I'm part mutt, so I'm not, tearing down anybody who's mixed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it wasn't by our choice. You understand?
Facts.
I hope y'all don't miss that point.
Facts. Speak on it.
If you slap me today and I turn the other cheek, you ain't got nothing gonna stop you tomorrow. But if you slap me today and I pick up this damn light or this pole and I bust your shit to the white meat, you gonna think twice tomorrow before you slap me across my motherfucking cheek. So where is y'all pole at? You understand what I'm saying? I've never seen a war won from a defensive position. You might be able to hold the fort down, but with the artillery that they got and the technology they got, that's slim to none. So what are we going to do? Who's going to stand up for their people? Who's going to fight for their nephews, their nieces, their sons? They took a son from that man, and he said it's okay because his dad wasn't scared when they took his life. I commend that brother for his fear. Like he fear no man save a lie. Fear no man save the Most High. Salute to that brother for that. But that doesn't justify a wrongful execution of a man's life. If they don't value your life, the government doesn't value the life of our people, it's up to us to value it, to be ready to stand and fight for life.
Deuce, we have a super chat. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother. I was just letting you know we have a super chat.
That super chat could wait this time. I'm just getting warmed up. Unless y'all don't think, y'all believe that we is niggas, short for nickel. My grandfather told me one of the reasons they used to call us niggers because we weren't worth a nickel. My grandfather was born in Newberry, South Carolina. He ended up serving for this country as an engineer in World War II. And even him, up under the patriotic facade that is instilled into our people, even at the youngest age, the first teachers at school, please stand at the beginning of the class, put your right hand over your heart and pledge allegiance to the motherfuckers that raped your mama, ancestors, female ancestors in front of you, that beat your forefathers, some of them to death, but broke them, the strong ones who felt that they need to stand up and still had man in them. They wanted to demasculate the strongest ones, the powerful ones. But you're supposed to pledge to this great nation. You're supposed to support these people because this is a great nation. A great nation for who? The anomalies that make it through the cracks. And salute to all of those that didn't sell their soul, that found the way to make it. Hey, Brother Talmud, please put on this PTR. And because they're going to kick you off. Matter of fact, text my phone. I'm finna send you the link. We need you up here with us today on this one. Because I know you got a lot to add to this conversation. Hold on. Just text my phone, King. Please, so I ain't got to go all the way down there looking for your text. And I'm quite sure y'all ain't gonna regret this one. I hope. All right, I'm finna send you the PTR, but hit that link right there, Brother Talmud, and change your PTR and hit that link so you could build in on this. Brother Talmud, the commander. Salute, Black Seed. You can screenshot it. Screenshot my PTR. So this brother who's mourning is being conditioned. Don't go start no uprising in the fields, nigga. Boy, probably from his parents or his grandparents or both. Because that's how we've been conditioned to think, to accept that. Man, fuck that. That's not cool. I'm not accepting that. And whenever an injustice is allowed to continue to exist, nigga, it's an injustice to all. Where justice doesn't prevail, it's an injustice to all. And I'm acting like y'all say Malcolm, and these are the things that they taught back then. They said Martin Luther King, before he was unalived by covert plots from this government, right? He questioned whether or not he led his people to the slaughterhouse. Sheeps with no fight. Give them the religion. Oh, well, I'm going to heaven. Love thy neighbor. I'll leave it to God. Faith without works equals nothing. If it was just leave it up to them, then why when Judas snitched did the disciples try to stone him? When he sold Jesus out by the biblical time, this is to all my religious people who go to the Injil or the Torah. Welcome, Brother Talmud, the commander, into the building. Peace, King. Shalom. We can't hear you. You muted back up. Take the mute off. Well, while he getting that done, you conditioned to accept that. The fight's been taken out of you. The nigga done beat you so bad that the fight's been taken out of you. Imagine that. That this is a normal occurrence. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's cool. No, it's not, nigga. Is that what you gonna teach your son? When the fuck you bitch ass niggas that want to unalive each other at an alarming rate, about 3%, you know, you do have what they call murder by proximity, right? Where about 91% of melanated people are unalive by people that look like us. But when you go to the statistics and people that look like this, 87% of people unalive are unalive by people that look like this. 4% difference. We still got work to do because we want to be at the bottom of them metrics, but not too far off. But they talk about black on black crime, right? Y'all want to unalive each other at a more disproportionate rate than these others by a couple percent. Look at the Asians. It's the same thing. Unaliving by proximity. Crime by proximity. Obviously, if you're surrounded by a bunch of Asians, chances is, and your Asian chances is, if violence occurs, it's going to happen amongst your people because those are the community that you deal with every day. You see at the store, the people that you see at the car wash, right? When you're going low riding down Crenshaw, these are the people that we're seeing, people that look like us, Latinos and melanated people. So, of course, those statistics are crimes by proximity. When you niggas gonna grow a pair, though, and take a stance for once? When? You niggas is too pussy. Y'all be quick to get on Deuce Sims. I'm a kid. I get all kind of for the last 3 years, all kind of threats and all of that shit. Bro, you really don't want to see me in person, especially if you coming with that energy. You know what I'm saying? It will not be a good day for me or nobody else. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is this, y'all be quick to threaten each other, to act out on violence with each other. But as soon as it comes time to stand up for that woman, why you think your woman don't respect you, nigga? Protect her. Protect her of your family, your kids. You think that his wife is looking at him and saying, well, damn, what if that was our son? He just saying that's cool? He ain't going to stand up and fight for his seed, his black seed, or melanated seed? She might love him. She might have to make it work. He might be a great provider. But subconsciously in her mind, she looking at that nigga and said, damn, that nigga's a pussy. What if they did her like that? And I'm looking at the nigga like that. And I'm not saying go do nothing rational, but we need to have, men are supposed to be strategic. Men are supposed to be cerebral, not just acting out off the emotions. What we need to put in place is exercising our Second Amendment right to carry pistols. Not just the men, our sisters. We need to get our sisters into these gun ranges to be able to help protect their family. We have to protect ourselves. This government ain't going to do it. In fact, they're going to be the main one to attack this for trying to stand on our right. The Black Panthers have a legendary picture at the Capitol in Sacramento, California, with their shotguns and bearing arms. It was just so, they got guns and that's the Second Amendment right? This is something that we were supposed. So why is it such a big thing that they went and took a stand of, demonstrated a stand of position and strength, a statement that they're prepared to stand for theirs? They just underestimated their enemy. You know what I'm saying? These were a bunch of kids with new blood who understood the job and what needed to be done. Talmud, go out there, let me kick you out, and then come back in, and then hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Let me see. All right, I kicked him out. Now, Brother Talmud, come back in, you'll be able to go. So, economically, I talked about the disparities. Everybody talking about reparations. Yeah, that's what's owed to us. We ain't asking for nothing new. We saying pay what you owe. Matter of fact, I'm listening to Lady Fino, how she was on Loose Coochie Cannon every time she talked to him. Nigga, what's up with my money? Yeah, that part. I ain't forgot about that money, but I'm still getting the bag over here. That's what we need to focus on. You're talking about $1.7 trillion annually our melanated people in this country is grossing. $1.7 trillion. We can push for the money that's owed, but in the meantime, our children that we trying to leave that money to, generational wealth, might not be here because people think that this is okay. Brother Talmud, you muted up. Can you hear me now? And we can't even get Brother Talmud, man. I know this brother got a deep message for y'all. Let's get into this real quick, man. Let's get into this real quick. Hit that mute button, Brother Talmud. Let me see if I can take it off you. We good? Okay, you can hear me. Unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me play this video, and then I want you to react.
Understand, this could be you. It could be your daddy. It could be your brother. It could be your uncle. It could be your cousin. It could be your neighbor. It could be your homeboy. It could be your fraternity brother. It could be your church member. This is real. And when you look at all of these cases where black men have been put in prison for things they did not do, put on death row for crimes they did not commit, they too came close to death. Let me say this to every single black man who is watching or who is listening. The 6 Supreme Court justices,
don't shoot my
named
pop. You don't know how to change his people.
by Republicans, including Clarence Thomas, who's black, all voted to allow the execution of Marcellus Williams. Let me say it again. The six conservative Supreme Court justices, named by Republicans, all voted to let Marcellus Williams die tonight. The 3 justices, named by Democratic presidents, they voted to stop his execution. Every black man who's considering voting for Trump, or who is choosing to sit the election out, or who is saying, hey, I can't vote for a woman, understand this could be you. It could be your daddy. It could be your brother. It could be your uncle. It could be your cousin. It could be your neighbor. It could be your homeboy. It could be your fraternity brother. It could be your church member. This is real. And when you look at all of these cases where black men have been put in prison for things they did not do, put on death row for crimes they did not commit, they too came close to death. Let me say this to everyone.
There you go, Brother Talmud. Let's speak on this situation. I'm dying to hear what you got to say.
Yeah. First and foremost, shalom to everybody. Peace to the room.
Man, shalom.
Yeah. And just to get right to it, if Marcellus Williams' situation doesn't register with America, It's by a desensitized and diabolical design. We need to recognize that the broader issues at play in the so-called Black community is right within what Malcolm talked about. The chickens is coming home to roost. It's inevitable. It's time for these people to feel it. We've been on this piece, turn the other cheek type of time. Nah, all that's out. This man asserted his innocence, which was supported by physical evidence. Marcellus Williams was not the source of the bloody footprints found at the scene,
Fact.
nor the unknown hairs that was left behind. In 2016, DNA testing proved that he was not the source of the DNA left on the murder weapon. That DNA belongs to an unknown male. The alienation of our people through what's become normal to the point to where it can be hard for Americans to see how psychotic our reality is because it's normal, is out. We can't keep turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to the mass psychosis that this country is dealing with in a real way, which is when large portions of society slip into delusion and lose touch with reality. The alienation of our people is apparent, and we can't go for it no more, man. No forensic evidence was tied to Marcellus Williams being at the scene of this crime, but the jury convicted him of murder and burglary. Williams' attorneys argued that both informants that testified against that man stood to benefit from their cooperation. Their stories sometimes changed and conflicted with the other details in the killing. The ruling class only responds to one thing: if you know, you know. If we are effectively confronting this truth and evaluating what we are living for, the facts are clear. If they can do this to one of us, it sets a dangerous standard and precedence for all of us. We got to organize and take a militant stance and focus on pushing the line for our rights and defending our communities, because it's our responsibility. It ain't nobody else's. Marcellus Williams was born in South Bend, Indiana on December 30th, 1968. His mother and two brothers moved to St. Louis when he was about 5 years old. That man grew up in an impoverished community. That man was exposed to all the things that our people are exposed to in the neighborhoods and environments that we come from, that was created by redlining. Why am I highlighting redlining? Redlining is structural violence that the ruling class has committed against our people. The hood that we know to be the reality for many, it began to be created in 1937. Redlining produced real life Hunger Game type environments that our people were born in and that our people came from. Every major hood that exists today began to be created in 1937. This is called structural violence. Structural drivers of violence, when you talk about historical violence against us, when you talk about the fear of violence that our people been dealing with for 404 years now. Structural violence, when you talk about a lack of community safety, this is structural violence. A lack of safety leads to long-term health consequences, injuries, disability, death, mental health problems, barriers when it comes to healthy eating and active living childhoods. See, this contributes to long-term health disparities and mental health issues and increased vulnerability to violence because of a lack of nutrition that's important to the development of our young. I'm gonna throw this in there. When you talk about the hood that young brother, that elder came from, and that young man came from, how many know lead poisoning is a major aspect of the neighborhoods that we come from? Now let me break that down. Lead poisoning damages the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that's responsible for regulating emotions, decision making, impulse control, leading to poor impulse response and heightened aggression. and increasing the likelihood of violent or antisocial behavior. Lead poisoning contributes to oxidative stress that inflames the brain and affects parts of the brain that regulates emotion and behavior, impair cognitive function, and can reduce our ability to navigate our emotions. This is lead poisoning that these people have used when you talk about the communities that we came from, that no environments, no communities, no people dealing with but us. Let me know when you want me to land, bro, because I got more.
Man, listen, bro, cook.
See? Hormonal disruption coming from lead poisoning can interfere with the endocrine system that has to do with the regulation of our hormones. Lead poisoning can throw off testosterone levels, which can be linked toward aggression, leading to an overt aggression. Studies show children exposed to high levels of lead tend to show more aggressive behavior and have a high likelihood of engaging in violent activities later on in life. How about the fact that redline communities throughout history have a high exposure to lead due to outdated building materials, contaminated faucet water through the piping, poor housing conditions that leading to cognitive impairment, aggression, and long-term health issues in the Black community. Lead poisoning hotspots. See, all of this research I'm talking about was done in 2016. These people know what they've done. Environmental racism is what we're talking about. Young Black children suffering the brunt of environmental racism as far as their ability to a degree to regulate their emotions being impaired, their ability to make sound decisions being impaired. And when you put lead into a gun, you load a weapon. But when you put lead into people, you turn them into a weapon. This is structural violence. See, there's a reason for higher rates of firearm injury and things of that nature in redlined environments. And this is coming from scholars like Ben. This research comes from 2020, or scholars like Post, and this research comes from 2021. These scholars know these things about our communities, which means the people that set these things in motion know these things. But how many of us in the hood know throughout this country, disproportionately, we've been affected by things like lead poisoning? Beyond that, how many people know that lead poisoning does these things to young people? How many people know what lead poisoning does to the mind? You mean to tell me our people are being railroaded and being poisoned and we don't know it? When we understand the issues behind Marcellus Williams' case and the broader struggle in the Black community, Marcellus Williams' case is not isolated, but it's a part of a larger narrative that has been woven into the fabric of the Black seed experience in this country. Understand how systemic neglect and alienation has been normalized to the point to where Black pain has become invisible to broader conversations. This conversation that we diving into right now, when you talk about systemic redlining, environmental injustices, economic disparities, and the criminalization of our people intersect with which has shaped our reality. If America can't see how deeply ingrained the system is, it's time for them to reevaluate what they living for. Because I'm telling you, fam, it's over with. It's out. All of this going along with whatever it is that them people have put in motion is over, fam. We're not going for it no more, bro. When you talk about the historical context of things like redline, to break down the discriminatory policies as to how redlining began the process of disenfranchising Black communities. Redlining wasn't just about denying mortgages. It set up entire communities to fail by cutting off access to resources, leaving them vulnerable to environmental, social, and economic degradation. Connect this to Marcellus Williams. When you talk about criminal cases like his, they are symptomatic of a larger system that has long viewed Black lives as expendable. Historical roots of redlining have led to the creation of neighborhoods where crime and poverty were more likely to flourish due to systemic deprivation. Redlining created a real-life Hunger Game type environment. I repeat, where we are fighting to survive in an environment created to destroy us. When you talk about structural drivers of violence and mental health crisis in red line communities, violence and the fear of violence, all they had to do was enact violence against so-called Black communities and disenfranchised communities, leading to violence being normalized amongst us. And it's not random. This is a product of concentrated disadvantage and systemic neglect. Living in areas where food insecurity is a problem, poor housing is a problem, and a lack of financial stability increases the probability of the involvement of exposure to violence. And this research was done by Beardsley in 2019. Now, we know these things. I'm just shouting out these scholars or speaking to these scholars because I'm highlighting the fact that these people know what they are doing. They know what they created beginning in 1937. They know what they intended to produce in the environments that we come from. When you talk about the mental health effects, chronic exposure to violence and stress leads to long-term mental health issues, making it difficult to develop healthy coping mechanisms. Communities are not just struggling financially. We're under psychological siege, family. This is mental war. This is mind war that them people been waging against our people for 404 years. This creates a perfect storm where children grow up without the mental tools needed to express themselves, leading to frustration, aggression, and violence. Connection to Marcellus Williams. This is the reality for many black men like Williams and where he came from. Environments that breed crime, not only because of inherent pathology, but because of the structural violence that has gone unchecked for decades that the ruling class put in motion to eliminate competition in their view. How many black men or communities have been destroyed by this country behind accusations involving a white woman? How many times have black men been killed?
That's where we got the civil rights from. It started because so many of our brothers were being lynched, falsely accused of sexually assaulting white, so-called white women. So yeah, that's where it's all started.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this, bro, and I'm gonna land. You see what I'm saying? How many times have black men been killed in the name of one of them niggas got to go because of something that happened to a white woman, even though the random black men that they snatched up had nothing to do with it? Historically, thousands of black men have been lynched or killed, and several black communities have been destroyed due to accusations involving white women. Rough estimates suggest the following. According to the NAACP, approximately 3,446 black people have been lynched in the U.S. between 1882 and 1968, with many of these killings stemming from accusations involving a white woman, particularly in the South. And that number is just the basement, that 3,446. Community massacres and incidents like the Tulsa Race Massacre in 1921, the Rosewood Massacre in 1923, triggered by what? An accusation behind a white woman. This resulted in the deaths of hundreds of black people and the destruction of entire communities, and black cities and towns in the hundreds no longer exist in America behind accusations that associate with a white woman. You got hundreds of black cities and black towns that no longer exist today. That's under many of the lakes that you see in this country that you got to pay to go and partake in. Many of them lakes is covering up black cities. Many of our cities were drowned by them exploding dams and things of that nature and diverting water to where our cities and towns were after they chased us out of our cities and towns. So with that being said, bro, I yield.
Diamond. Salute to Diamond. The sniper is in the building. What up, Diamond?
What up? What up? What up, man?
I know you got something to add to this, man. Go
Damu
ahead.
Kiwe
The flow.
Conversations.
This right here, man. This one right here. This one hit home for me, because a lot of people don't understand. You know, a lot of people have something to say about what's going on with the justice system and how we get to where we are right now. But one of the key things is when we as black people get a summons for that jury duty, first thing they do as a whole, find an excuse. Man, they gave me jury duty. Oh, I'm gonna get up out of here. They get them white folks them jury duties. Oh man, they there. And they fighting to get on that jury because they gonna push their narrative. They're gonna do everything they can to get your black ass up off this off these streets. You see what I'm saying? But we as a people will scream and holler and cry about the sentences that we get and getting found guilty of crimes that the evidence didn't measure up, but we won't get on that jury. You know what I'm saying? Your local ballot is important. You got progressive DAs that's fighting to stay in office right now and trying to rectify some of the BS that went on for the last God knows how many years. You know what I'm saying? But we can't even get you there to vote on the local level to keep the right people in office. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you got DA Gascon in LA. He's been fighting tooth and nail, trying to rectify all the bullshit that Gil Garcetti had done put in place. And he's getting fought by the DAs. You know what I'm saying? The piece of shit DAs. How can anybody prosecute cases for 30 years and never have one loss? Something ain't right. Nobody's perfect. God say that. But you got DAs in that DA's office that have not had not one loss because they'll do anything to win. Anything to win. They have no rules. And then if you want to go deeper than that, you got these agent provocateurs, you know what I'm saying? These Negroes who fight tooth and nail to further put our heads underwater and drown us. Primary example, CS2 back. And I don't even want to put him in the conversation. But you have to include him in the conversation right now because he's the perfect example of the house nigga, field nigga situation. You see what I'm saying? He sits up and creates a false narrative, a fake narrative, and all the bullshit he can on this internet to keep everyday life in chaos. Agent provocateur. And just I want everybody to remember I said it. At the end of the day, it's going to come out and everybody going to be like, oh, wow. I never even thought that dude was doing that or that dude was doing that. Because at the end of the day, they always reveal the snake. They always reveal the snake. But what I do recommend, if you're really upset about this as a whole, everybody, man, when you get them jury duty slips, man, report to that jury duty. Go in there and try your best to understand the law and how to apply the law and the evidence that they put before you and make your own decision. Don't let nobody change your mind. If you know that that man is not guilty or all the chips don't add up, just because they want to continue deliberating, that don't mean that you have to change your views. And that's where people go wrong. Man, we've been deliberating for a week and we can't come to a decision and it's only 2 holdouts. Man, what can we do to change your mind? Nothing. Because I have a right to have my own view of what's going on. And people don't do it. What they do, they fold. Oh, we need to bring this to an end because I got family, I got things I need to do. I need to get back to my life. We have to be a community. We have to be a whole. We have to fight for what's right. Because once they get you in the stoops, they gonna hold your ass there by any means necessary. Because at the end of the day, you represent money then. Everybody that they hold in prison represents dollars. That's job security for the CO, for the canteen worker, for the groundskeeper, for the kitchen worker. It's job security. And then when it comes to governors like Governor Newsom, people might not like him for whatever reason. But one thing I could say about that dude, he took everybody off of death row right now, and he reintegrated them into the population and said, look, as long as these men are still alive, even though you have sentenced them to death, I'm not going to treat them and isolate them like you do animals in the zoo. You got dudes right now that are condemned and they able to get in programs and come out and get on the line and speak and be heard. And he ain't killed nobody. He stopped the death penalty while he in office. He said, fuck that. I know what I have. I have executive privilege to say right now, we ain't killing nobody on my watch. And he did that. That's the type of person that needs to be supported. That's the person that needs to be voted for. You know what I'm saying? DAs like Gascon that go in and they look at these dudes that had these 30-year runs and they in these certain positions because they only want high-profile cases. And he looks at their whole body of work and he say, you know what? I know you're not right and you know you're not right, so I'm going to take you out of there. I'm going to put your ass back doing regular cases. You no longer part of this elite unit. You got to pay attention to what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, it's a whole bunch of dudes that's sitting in these prisons that ain't in there for what they done. You got some that just stand on morals and values and got integrity. And they won't get up and go and do the police job for them. I'm not going to solve the crime for you. That's not my job. It's not my job to be no rat. It's not my job to investigate the crime for you and then tell you all that I found out in these streets or anything that I might know. Because as a man, I'm able to look myself in the mirror every day when I wake up and be proud of who the fuck I am. And I know ain't no smut on me. No, ain't no rat on me. I'm not the nigga that ate the cheese. And that's coming from me, a nigga that got 24 in this motherfucker. On a life without.
Damu Kiwe Conversations.
Just end it right there.
Salute to brother Diamond, man. Salute to brother Talmud. I'm gonna end this. We already been on for an hour and 30 minutes. Maria just got home and I need to help them. I hope brother Talmud come back in. Complacency. A lot of our people in this have lost sight of who the real enemy is. That's why you get these house niggas, you get these agent provocateurs, right? Because they're only focused with their own success and maybe even the success of their family if they ain't too selfish. You know what I'm saying? But when they find success up under this government and this way of life, what they consider success, because they're not looking at the overall scope, but they're looking at it from within the lens of just them and their family. We've been so separated. That identity is so separate. I'm a Christian. Oh no, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Oh no, I'm a Muslim. Oh, I'm a Catholic. That denomination. I'm a blood. No, I'm a Crip. That denomination, right? I'm light skinned. I'm dark skinned. Or I'm a male and I'm a female. Everything that Willie Lynch set into place, which continues to pervade our mind today. So if I don't recognize that there's a problem, or I don't have a problem with this system, why would I believe there was a problem with the system if I found success under this way of life?
Hey, could I say one thing, Deuce?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm reading this comment from the one that you just had up, and the dude was talking about.
Let me go.
Okay. He said Newsom made the black aggression, the California Democratic Congregation eliminate that reparations bill. Newsom is not for us. Now, let's understand this. Kamala Harris, she voted against reparations. And if you go through history, you'll realize a lot of these individuals that call themselves black or people of color have voted against reparations. The thing that I'm speaking on, and why I say and I support Newsom, is I look at what a man has done. His actions, his deeds speak for him. For a fact, right now, there is no death row in California. Everybody that was on death row has been spread throughout the general population.
That's a fact.
So can't nobody say who he is and who he ain't for, because his actions speak louder than his words.
I mean, maybe they got some people have like what is it called? Unrealistic expectations. For one, he's a politic. He's part of the Democratic Party, so his allegiances and agenda is already set up primarily for a majority of the major issues. But one thing that he did do was this, and that's something that obviously Diamond feel strongly about. So I don't think none of them is for us all over, but when you think about what's most important for me, is ending qualified immunity, right? I believe that all families, parents shouldn't have to live with the anxiety that melanated families do every time your son or your daughter or your nephew or your niece walks to the store, because the police knows that they have no repercussions coming, so they might unalive them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might call the police on him because he's a big, tall child, and they're afraid of him because subliminally they've been taught to be afraid and to fear us. You know what I'm saying? So out of ignorance, and they unalive your child without repercussions. Well, ending qualified immunity, when they slap us, would hold them accountable and slap them back. That will set precedence as a demonstration that won't be tolerated. So that if right now, if Donald J. Trump, as much as I despise, believe he's self-centered, he epitomizes capitalism, he's narcissistic. Right now, if Donald Trump said he was ending qualified immunity day one in the office, and he would resign if he didn't do it, I will vote for Donald Trump. I despise Kamala Harris, because up under Kamala Harris's watch in California, as the head DA of the state, the police tried to unalive me, made no report after they discharged their firearm. Later, on another date, planted drugs on me. On another date, when I was 13 years old, choked me up and held me up till I was only seeing black in a police station, child abuse. This was the norm under the Rampart scandal. This was the norm under her watch. So I despise her also. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Kamala. If either one of them right now And Kamala said she before she became vice president that she was pushing to end qualified immunity. But since she got in, she's done nothing for our community. They put a anti-Asian hate crime bill in. Peep her deeds and actions while y'all saying that she's our people, right? If she was to say that right now, I would get behind her, campaign for her, and try to get her elected, because that's the least that we could do is put Usalama in security and protect our children. So police ain't just unaliving them in the community. That's the least we could do. I don't expect them to make everything hunky-dory. Why would your enemy enable you? But if we could get that much of an agreement, I would vote for either one of them. Kamala, you want to be the president of the United States? I don't care about your LGBTQ agenda and that agenda the Democrats is pushing, because we got masculine men out here that's going to be there to teach our children. You can do whatever you want. In qualified immunity, day one, presidential order, and you get my support. Donald Trump, you want to be elected? You could get my vote by ending qualified immunity. I don't care. They two heads of the same beast. We have this colonized mind, and we've assimilated to the laws of this land and accepted them, even though when we're at the butt end of every major campaign that didn't happen in here. COINTELPRO, who they targeted the most, our organization. Shout out to American Indian movement. Shout out to Puerto Ricano movement and all of the revolutionaries that stood up, the Brown Berets that stood up and pushed against the inequalities and the aggressive procedure, which was regular procedure back then, even in LA, right? Salute to all of them. But we were the front line of it, and we took the biggest loss. Knock off the head, the body fall. The Black Panthers, the Southern SL, I don't even know the initials, right? The BLA, right? The United Slaves, all of these organizations that fought for our rights and equalities. We lost our leadership. So now we like chickens running around with our heads cut off. What we need is communication with our neighbors instead of looking at them and try to compete with them economically to make yourself feel good about yourself because you accomplished something in this society, in this way of life. We need militias to formulate militias in our communities. We have militias in our community. We just focus on ourselves. We need to be patrolling our set. So the situations that happened in Buffalo, when that dude went to that grocery store and assassinated people that look just like us, just because they look like us, with a Nazi swastika on it, saying, here are your reparations. Yeah, so that don't happen, but you can't stop that from happening. Anybody could be got. But what we can make sure is that when they come, that they gonna be picking his bitch ass up too. We patrolled our hoods and controlled our hoods in South Central Los Angeles. We was bred like that. Why we can't formulate that same thing to protect our community? Not just from those type of people, white supremacists, which is on the rise. The FBI been warning that it's going to continue to climb these mass shootings, right? What else we need is we need to invest that 1.7 trillion, take it out of these banks and invest in melanated-owned banks. BYFC, I got stocks in them. I advise all of y'all to go do the exact same thing, because the more money that goes through this bank, the more money that we got to invest into infrastructure within our community, not just regular homes and all of that, homes with our own water supplies. We're dependent upon everything with these people, their banks, right? Them for loans. Y'all seen all of the scandals. Wells Fargo done settled out on several different lawsuits where they intentionally discriminated our people because it sound like we're black. What does a black name sound like? We got slave master name. English, Lamonte, I guess that's a black sounding name, right? We need our own online curriculum, so we can't keep complaining about what they're doing at the school with little boys going in the bathroom with little girls, because he feels, a boy feels like he's a woman at 7, 8 years old, right? Men aren't even supposed to react off of emotions, but you're already embedding him that it's cool to react off of how he feels. Well, shit, I remember at one time I felt my ex-girlfriend was the baddest, perfect thing with me. But feelings change just like the seasons. And time and experience teaches you different things. Why should a child even be concerned with his genitalia and sexual preferences at the age of 8? We talking about child pornography. Conditioning our children to accept this as normal. Conditioning the same way that they conditioned the mind of Marcellus' son to accept his father being executed for a crime he should have not been convicted of. Our online curriculum need to teach our kids financial literacy, coding, STEM research. Maybe we find a cure for cancer, right? Brother Talmir was giving you some of this, where some of these symptoms and diseases is coming from that pervade our community. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with coding, the next Facebook or the next Google is created by our people, isn't bought out. You know what I'm saying? With an exit strategy. Maybe it's an evergreen, right? We need to police our own community. That's why we never worked with the police. That's why we didn't cooperate with the government. But y'all thinking it's cool because y'all didn't see all of this for it coming. It's only going to get worse. We need that infrastructure now. And we need justice reform. Not just getting laws changes to end qualified immunity. The crack law, they've already did some of that because the money they made off of us, extorting taxpayers with the war on drugs, with the war on gangs. We're going to secure and protect you when they were extorting the population, portraying these situations way worse than they were when they were the ones helping to initiate these conflicts. They were the ones that initiated Freeway. Ricky Ross didn't know how to turn powder cocaine into crack. Scientists and think tanks have this shit planned 10 and 20 and 30 years ahead.
Exactly. And they use that money, folks. And they use that money for Ronald Reagan's pet project supporting the Contras. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. To overthrow the communist government in Nicaragua.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think one day we should just sit down and cover that, because it's a hell of a story. You know what I'm saying? There's some hell of a shit that went on in that through that era. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I want to speak on that you had touched on right there.
Let me finish this, and then you can take us out.
Okay.
So, on the justice reform, I ain't just talking about the laws as they stand. I'm talking about justice reform, getting our people in our children to be interested in law at a young age, not just criminal law, business law, so that they could help protect the rights of the intellectual property of a lot of these young creatives that's coming up. This is the age of technology. We have an opportunity to make money where we're not subservient to and have to work for and beg for or ask for a job from those people who took that land from the beginning, who started off as CEOs. You able to compete on the internet. We need judges, you know what I'm saying, that understand socially conscious and understand what's been done, where we stand at today, and ensure that people are getting a fair trials. If I'm guilty, hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? But don't tip your hands on the scales of justice, because you need those statistics up for these investors in the private prisons, and these investors that help get you nominated from the correctional officers union. That's all I gotta say, man. Just like Queen Nzinga infiltrated had her military lay down their arms and infiltrate the Portuguese when she faked her death. They all got arms at that point. They didn't have to worry about getting guns. They didn't have guns before. And she went and married. Shout out to Nzinga. I believe she was the greatest warrior that we ever had in the history of melanated people. Great strategist. She faked her death because they wanted her so bad. She fought them for nearly 50 years. And she made it to where any runaway people running away from the enslavement and colonization of Africa had freedom in her land. But she faked her death and went and married her enemy tribe, a rival tribe. And she came back and she sent word to her military general that she was out in the bushes and they were ready. She told them, don't fight until I come back. Lay down your weapon and go along with the program. That's what he did. And when he got word, she came with that rival tribe, reinforcements, and now her troops had guns and they could fight back. That's what we need to do, not just with guns, but with our minds in that judicial system. Get these judges, our people in there, lawyers, our people in there, the Senate, our people in there, and we need our own party. I'll land.
Yeah, champ, there was a time when we owned our media. There was a time when we owned hip hop. And you see the impact that hip hop was making on our people at that time because we owned it. But see, there came a point where the government saw that owning the media was, having direct access to our minds. So they began to scale music and media, you see what I'm saying, to their advantage. You see? That's why you only hear one narrative. And that narrative is a destructive narrative. You don't hear no truth. You don't hear no facts. You don't hear nothing about growth, progress, maturation, liberation, strength, wisdom, family, order, structure. You don't hear nothing about none of that. You see? And those things are essential to life. And that's all by design. See? Because I spoke to that to bring it back to the point. When you break down all the things that these people have done to create instability in our community, it's all been to weaken us so that we would be fooled, so they could do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. See, lead poisoning was to weaken us. Food deserts was to weaken us. The violence that they inflicted upon us to create an environment where PTSD could live prevalently was to weaken us, causing our people to fear violence was to weaken us so they can do what they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it. So I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I don't think that by any stretch of the imagination that that's sufficient. And I yield with that.
I got a shout out to Smokey, man. Him and Seaman Time Exotic, when they was cool, had did this, on the shooting in Kenosha. Everybody should know I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. That ain't too far from where I'm at. We gonna watch this. And then Yaya, I want you to take us out with that Damu Kiwe. It's only 3 minutes. Everybody watch, if you ain't watched this replay gang, watch this with your children. You know what I'm saying? Cal Rittenhouse and the shooting in Kenosha. Let's go, man. It's only 3 minutes.
The total opposite of an Anglo-Saxon, young Anglo-Saxon man. Do more than turn around.
Yeah.
Do more than he's running around with an assault rifle, and he's attempted to unalive multiple persons, and he lives and is not shot. So let's watch that.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Blew his hand off.
Nigga.
Now.
But you gonna be the bad guy?
Man. Yeah,
come on, give it to me.
No, listen. He's still knocking guys down and whatever, and still leaves unalive. I mean, still leaves unharmed, unscathed. But at the same time, he should have been knocking stuff down. Let's keep it real. They was on his head, and they thought it was sweet. And it's not. Leave people alone. Why would y'all? I don't know what he did, but y'all should have left him alone. You seen he had it on him. You should have thought. You thought it was sweet. You thought he wasn't going to use it. Bang, 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 bang. Stop playing with people all the time. You hear what I'm saying? That's what I gotta say about that. Don't stop.
He had to play the house nigga
all the time.
Hey.
Thinking it's sweet, and niggas ain't sweet all the time. Somebody might actually hurt you. Okay.
It don't take a gangster to pull a trigger. I'm just trying to tell you. Now listen to me, my brothers. Listen closely. I swear, before we watched this playback, I had a whole different. I remember watching the trial, and I was like, "Man, fuck that white boy." Da, 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 da. I remember when they found him not guilty. I was like, "Man, fuck that white boy." Da, 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 da. Now watching the video like years later, I'm like, damn, bro, he did swing that damn skateboard at him.
Yeah, and they was on him. They were on him.
Head, nigga.
Listen,
and I think they said somebody had a gun on him too, though.
Listen, they're busting on him. You can hear them immediately start knocking at him. Hold on, because they're immediately knocking on him.
No, what I'm saying is the dude that had the weapon on him, besides the dude that shot all three of them and killed one of them, the dude that had that ran up on him initially. One of them had a gun on him that I think he tried to pull out after he shot the first one down. And then dude shot him like, oh, hell no, you ain't pulling that out over here. Pow! Shot the other one. Pow! Now I'm looking at it like, money, you right?
That's why I'm like, hey, that's why I know we pulled it up.
Wrong, nigga. Cupcakes ain't always sweet, nigga.
Hey, man, stop playing with them. They was on them, too. They was deep, too. Yeah. And you know them skateboarders will really get on you and knock you upside the head with them skateboards. So that's like that's a deadly weapon. Man. That means you could potentially be beaten to death with it. So he has the fear. I keep saying that, my bad, brother. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, basically he's in fear of losing his life. You feel what I'm saying?
But basically he in fear of losing his life. Y'all see how these cowards make excuses for and try to justify when this shit comes, because they don't never want to have to stand up and take a position that they might have to stand on. Remember, do the FBI go. I want everybody to Google the FBI memo that these mass shootings, specifically by white supremacists, predictions is to continue to increase, especially with these. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your community. This has been another Damu Kiwe Conversations. Yeah.
Damu Kiwe Conversations.
We out.